Hello, everyone. My name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today, with us, Angel Rebo, CEO, consultant, TV host, international public speaker, and president of the Wisdom for Kids Foundation, is going to be talking about, among other things, shamanism and the experience of healing through it. Before starting with them, we want to remind you that Mindalia's mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world, and that you can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment down this video, or sharing it with someone that you know that is going to benefit of the content that we're going to be talking here today. Also, while we are live streaming, like right now, we have the active chat. Is the screen that you're going to be seeing here on my side, and through there, you can interact with us. Leave us your questions, which at the end of the conversation will be kindly answered. We also want you to collaborate with us with your own valuable content. And for that, you can go to our website. On the top, you're going to find a link that it says collaborate with Mindalia. That link is going to take you to a form that you can fill out for our technical team to be getting in contact with you. And you are going to be able to collaborate with Mindalia in English through Mindalia TV English, Portuguese through Mindalia Televisión, and Spanish through Mindalia Televisión. Visit us in our different platforms, find out the content that we are developing there daily, and also subscribe to our channel, leave us a positive comment. This channel and the other channels, of course, follow our Instagram account and our Facebook page. That's a great way for you to be always knowing what we are going to be having on premiere or live streamings. We are going to be happy to see you there. I am not going to be delaying this any further, and I'm going to leave you with Angel and with Mr. Norman Riback. Guys, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. The screen is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mirna, for that wonderful introduction. And welcome to Mindalia TV, Norman. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Oh, it's such an excitement to be here. It's a eternal moment of
Thank you.
positive energy.
That's very generous from you. Thank you very much. So let's start our conversation. When you were introduced by Mirna, she mentioned shamanism. So tell me, how have you been involved in shamanism yourself?
Well, I've been working with a lot of crystals. I have actually an Atlantis crystal, which I actually got from a Reiki teacher who introduced it to me, and it has such an interesting vibration. And then I also got from her a Lemuria crystal, which I actually, could feel it in my third eye, and especially my earlobes and my ears, and it really brings me in tune to the source that's within me. And I use a lot of other crystals, amethyst, moon crystals. I've been working with a very amazing person who does sound therapy, where I'm lying on amethyst and Herkimer on a bed, and she got a special deal. It was only $400. That's normally $3,500 on Amazon, and she got it, and I've done it twice with her, and with all the different bowls on my body and vibrations, and it's such an experience that it takes me about an hour after talking with her to get myself back grounded. Very interesting stuff. There's so much that I'm learning about shamanic energy. It's a never-ending process because there's so many multi-dimensions involved in all the different multiverses that are connected to the source of one, and many different names, Allah, many different names that people have for the goddess, God, that's everything, the yin and yang connection. And what I really developed, and I wrote a book, as you know, and I'm going to show you it's the universal truth of ROI. And if you go to this website, saveourgreenplanet.org, and click ROI, it's a 24-page PDF. So it's www.theuniversaltruthofROI. I'm sorry, www.saveourgreenplanet.org. Very helpful stuff on the environment, and you'll see ROI. You can't miss it. Return on investment, and you click it.
Exactly. Let me
yes.
Excuse me. Let me ask you something, Norman, because this is really interesting. As you know, ROI is typically a term that we use in the financial industry, right? Or we use it when we're going to make an investment. You know, we're looking for what's the return on that investment. So, how do you tie those two worlds, which are so different, like the ROI of something, the return on investment, with the spiritual or human world? How do you tie those concepts together, Norman?
Well, the bottom line that connects us all is we all want to get the most return or fulfillment from life. So there's the R. And the investment, your most important investment in life is your beliefs, philosophies. And you could always sense in ways that you could even go in even a more positive direction. And the beauty of, you know, and I studied business in school, which is very interesting. Return on investment, which is the bottom line on a corporate balance sheet of profits and losses. And I'm taking it, and I'm not the first, but I'm taking it a step further to connect everybody together, where I developed a transitive property where the more positive your most important investment, your belief or philosophy, the more return or fulfillment you will get out of life. Therefore, the closer you are to that positive direction, the more return or fulfillment you're going to get, and the closer your beliefs and philosophies are going in that positive direction. So it's all about fulfillment, and it's something that the world would develop more intelligent ways to coordinate economics, science, all various things. Or in a cult, if a group says, you got to kill these people, you don't do it. And this is the most important thing I have to tell you, Rebo, is that in the context of the universal truth of ROI, and this is important, the context of positive, because we all are individuals, we can have different definitions. But if you take a room of a 6 billion people, which could happen on a global webinar, and the context would be, the definition of positive is something that's beneficial to you, your family, all beings in all dimensions in the multiverse. And this is the key phrase: all sparks of the divine.
So Norman, let me stop you there just 1 second, so that we make sure that our audience is following us. So is there an absolute definition, like an absolute definition of what that best return of that investment would be? So is there an absolute line that we could try to be close, so that we will get the most return possible of our belief, of our investment, of our beliefs? Is there an absolute line that we could follow?
Yes. The absolute line is something that can always keep changing. If that's an oxymoron, obviously. But if someone says, wait, Norman, what you said is really smart, really makes sense. But wouldn't it be more positive? Wouldn't it bring you more into that positive alignment, that direction, which is the bottom line, the positive direction, which you and I the whole group wants to attain? And what you just said, wouldn't it be more positive? And I would say, thank you. I would be so excited, because that's the beauty of the universal truth of ROI. You could call it spiritual ROI, is that you don't mind someone correcting you. It's something where a group could be a debating on economics to technology to the understanding of even science with relativity or quantum physics or whatever, and using that positive direction to come up with the answers where people don't feel that it's like a survival thing when someone contradicts them. You know, they get crazy when someone's correcting them, where you're saying, thank you, thank you. We want to get more return and fulfillment. We want to go in that positive direction. And that's the excitement. It's so simple. It's an amazing, powerful, that not only changes our direction of humanity, but it's such it changes the whole cosmos in the positive direction. And that's what we're here for. We are the tools. We have free will, and we were given free will because we are the tools of positive energy creation for God, goddess, whatever name, Allah, whatever name people call the all. It's all beautiful.
So can we consider, going to the title of your book, Norman, this is really fascinating, thank you. Going to the title of the book, can we then consider that the universal truth, that term, that concept of the universal truth of ROI, is that universal truth like that absolute line that I was asking you about before? Is that the line that still can cope with someone bringing something else, as you said?
Oh, yes, definitely. You know, because there's in the book, and it's interesting, I kind of divided. It's almost like it's a workbook. I had to stop. You know, it wasn't a #1 bestseller because I had to stop at page 24. And I even added something that Nelson Mandela in the PDF. It's a free PDF, actually. Added about that our biggest fear is not our inadequacies, but that we have unlimited potential. And Nelson Mandela, boy, just what a human being. He's a phenomenal person. And he was really just something that is incredible. But talking about the book, there's two characters, Fun and Glum. And Fun talks about a philosophy about how we're involved in the creation process, who is God, the dichotomy of the soul. And in the book, before I go into Fun and Glum, I say the reader is supposed to change any word or context within that belief and philosophy of Fun if it goes into their positive direction, which is 99.9%. We all want what's more beneficial to all us, our family, humanity, and respecting one another. And if someone, let's say, says, I'm sorry, this religion is destructive, it's horrible, you even let them be in the webinar, so to speak, because they could change. People are not nouns, they're verbs. We have, this different beliefs of karma, different cycles. That's the whole function of free will. It's the illusions of pain and suffering that happen through free will at times, and the whole story about people going hungry. But at the same extent, Angel, when you're really thirsty and you drink that delicious iced tea or almond milk or whatever, you enjoy it so much more when you're really thirsty than when you're not thirsty. You know, there's as difficult as all some of the suffering that we go through in life, the key positive direction that I came up with is that the moments of pleasure and enjoyment of being with your family, of serving other people, of what you're doing with the children in Spain, it produces eternal positive energy moments. That's the pulse of the source, so to speak. That's just the way you could put it, but they're eternal moments where even if it was 95% suffering, that 5% of those positive moments is what it's all about. That's why we're here, to be the pulse, to create that positive energy.
Let's go back to the idea. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you, Norman, but that's a very interesting,
I need interruptions,
concept.
please. I love it.
Thank you. Imagine, no, thank you. You're very, very kind. So imagine that we have this webinar with 6 billion people, or 7.3 billion, let's say, the ones that we have now on Earth, the people, the number of human beings. 7.3 billion on a webinar. Okay, so probably, you know, we are so ingrained into ourselves that, and to our physical body, that probably there will be like 7.3 billion different perspectives on that webinar, right? So what do you think would happen? What would you say to these 7.3 billion people that could change, you know, humankind forever?
Everyone that's listening, the bottom line that we all agree on is our positive direction. Because the more your beliefs and philosophies in life coordinate with your definition of positive, the more return or fulfillment you're going to get out of life. And the context that I am flowing out of from within me, and not everyone has to agree with it because I respect everyone, is something that's beneficial to you, humanity, your family, all beings in all dimensions, in the universe, multiverse. But the key phrase is all sparks of the divine. And to be excited when someone corrects you and says, wait, Norman, what you said is beautiful, but wouldn't it even be more positive? Wouldn't it coordinate more with your direction for your explanation about why there's some suffering in life, or why you want to help people and do good? And wouldn't that be even a better explanation to bring you into more positive direction? And it's all about the beauty of positive energy, of creating positive energy. And all of us, we're all individuals. Our beliefs and philosophies are beautiful. If we appreciate everyone and we all agree on a definition of positive where we're all gaining of the key word, love, compassion, understanding, understanding that people are not totally nouns, but they can be verbs, into developing understanding such atrocities that happened in life, of the Holocaust, for example. Out of that horrible thing of the Holocaust, you had the most beautiful, positive energy from people like Schindler, the Schindler's List movie, where somebody said, this is wrong. And he felt such love overflowing him by saving humans, people, from this totally crazy nonsense going on, and followed his direction, even though he might be killed because of it. That's the beauty of that could come out of the flowers that could come out of the desert. And we could use the universal truth of ROI, return on investment, that goes past the monetary and definition of profits and loss statements, to expand on a definition that we could use in a group of people debating issues of economics, which is allocation of resources, where the profits and maximizing profits, if it's going to leave a world where it's polluted and our children won't be living the life that we want to give them, that's not a real return on investment. You have to go past the profit definition.
Norman,
Unless
let me ask you a specific question about how can we know that we are improving the ROI of our lives? How can we know that? Is there a specific way? Is there a practical way to realize that, yes, we're going in the right direction, so I'm perceiving that the return of that investment is increasing, is improving? Is that concept, how can we know on a practical basis that that's happening right now in our lives?
Through balance. The key term, balance, of taking time out, working hard, but taking the time to meditate. And I think that's something you're bringing to a lot of children, is the TM, Transcendental Meditation. I think that's a very unbelievable method to really balance and check your whole system of making sure it's balanced. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's another situation, because mistakes are not mistakes. They're the doors that are opening up to become successes.
And how can we know that we are more balanced? How can we know that? How can we perceive that we are more in balance? Because there's so many things going on around us and in our lives. We're rushing everywhere. We're going fast. We are connected to everything and everywhere through electronics. So how can we know that our life is more in balance?
Well, wow. You got to do things recreational at times. And I take my golden lab, Bailey, such a beautiful creature, dogs, there's such beauty. And I walk in the park and meeting other people, and I listen to, sometimes I listen to some good videos to enjoy Uh, believe it or not, that becomes meditation, to open up and to expand my mind. And it's a sense of feeling. It's an attitude, because your attitude goes beyond your body. You could be exhausted at times, tired, but you do it because sometimes you need to do it to help people. And there's an inner sense of seeing other people feel so good because you took care of somebody who was extremely ill. You gave them good advice. And then you got to take time for yourself, even if it's 10 minutes of, sometimes like this. Here, you go and you put the crystals on your eyes, or whatever techniques that come. You got to do it. The techniques are so individual. There's so many incredible techniques.
Mm-hmm.
But using, again, the universe, spiritual ROI, and to make it simple, positive direction. Your intuition, right? I think that's the key word. There's a guide within you, a higher power, the higher self. I call it the being, the center of you, that perfect Christ conscious, or Shekhinah in Hebrew. It's the center. And some people say I call it the center of the soul. Some people call it, there's so many different beliefs on that. And I love them all because they're all beautiful. That you trust. You don't even know how these things are coming about, but you're doing things, and it's feeling, it's sensing about what's happening. And sometimes, even if a mistake happens, it was meant to be, because it's that deja vu moment sometimes where it's just meant to be. It's part of the reason why we're here. And this is, again, it's so subjective. That's the beauty, is that with the universal truth of ROI, and universal truth is not really the best word in a sense, because there's sometimes universal truths in this religion and that religion. But I think what I was trying to hit was something that would coordinate with everyone.
Yes, that's true.
That's what everyone has different individual beliefs or philosophies.
Exactly.
And within there's universal truths. But I was trying to bring away, and it's funny, through business, the concept of the bottom line, to bring people together.
Exactly.
Scientists, you could have Trump.
Let me ask you something.
You could have anyone and discuss things that we will all agree on, that definition of positive. And you would be amazed. They would all end up agreeing on that definition, even though they say, whoa, then they would realize, a lot of them saying, maybe I wasn't doing it correctly.
Let me ask you something, Norman. I would like you to share with everybody, how did Norman, the human being, the man, how did you reach a point in which you started to think about this kind of concepts? What happened in your life? What was that defining moment in your life? What happened to you that you started thinking about this?
Well, it's a strange situation. Is when I was younger, I didn't really start speaking until I was 6. My brain was not wired correctly. My left and right hemisphere, I was basically, I was 95% right-brained. So I couldn't, it's a whole totally different neuroscience. It's a different way of thinking and feeling and sensing, and and I had an operation, and they were able to connect the two halves of those hemispheres in the brain, and it was like something, a passion. It didn't hit me, as strange it is, until I was doing a lot of Reiki was done on me, and this 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 Reiki master did something that was phenomenal about in the year like 1998. She connected me going back to the creation of infinity. That's how she called it, the creation of infinity. And through that process, I just connected to everything, going back to the direction is what positive energy is all about. It's going in a positive direction, which doesn't mean positive thinking where you're blindly not thinking and seeing people suffering and things that are not. But those are opportunities to say, yes, I could make a difference. I could change the world, and make and go beyond philosophies. I have to share this one book. This book, and this is a great guy, and I connected with him on Facebook, The Physics of God by Joseph Selby. And I even recommended that he should contact you and go into, because this guy, and it was published in 2018. It's amazing, like his very new, and he connects the quantum physics, which I ended up getting into now, with Einstein, and how they don't connect, but the whole thing with string theory and the whole concept and how he goes into the heavens, and it's a great book, and it goes really well with my positive direction of the universal truth of ROI, because you could take what he wrote and you could keep expanding upon it, and there's so many different levels and so many different thoughts. But before I even, and I know I'm getting off the topic, but for corporations, I think corporations are fantastic because they have the opportunity to go beyond the profit and loss statements. They could go and enhance their return on investment by helping communities, by making a difference in the environment, by making it's unlimited what corporations could do by working for the return on investment that goes beyond, that ends up connecting to the future of humanity. And it's unlimited. What, as Nelson Mandela said, that our biggest fear is not our darkness, but our light.
Exactly. Beautiful. We've reached the end of our conversation, Norman. It's been an amazing journey. So, I wouldn't like to finish our conversation before you share again. Where can we find Norman Riback online? What's the easiest way to contact with you, Norman?
Okay, the easiest way online would be going to Norman at saveourgreenplanet.org. And in the email, mention Angel Rebo.
Oh, thank you.
And
thank you.
then I'll know that it's a number one priority, because it's the connection of being enlightenment is a connection to a passion of positive direction. And that's my definition of enlightenment.
Thank you so much. Before we go, I just wanted to share something with the audience. Since Norman and I connected through LinkedIn, and then we went on the phone and a couple of conversations and involving other people as well. I have to say he's been extremely generous with his time, extremely generous with his time. He's been sharing his ideas, his thoughts, his concepts about, living in a more positive world. And, we're really here at Mindalia TV. We really appreciate that. We thank you for every single thought, every single idea that you've written, that you've verbalized with us. We're really thankful for having been with us today as well. Thank you also to your nephew, who's been instrumental as well in having us connect and advise us and many different things. So really, Norman, thank you.
Oh, you want to see a miracle? I have to show you a miracle. Wait, 2 seconds.
There's a miracle?
2 seconds. My grandson.
Oh, okay. Your grandson. Okay.
That's my grandson. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Awesome. Thank you very much. I think I saw this beautiful grandson of yours on a beautiful picture of yours online. I think on Facebook. Beautiful. He was right onto your chest, onto your body. It was a beautiful picture. So thank you again. As you know, I'm very sensitive with kids, and I'm all about helping kids in need and underprivileged kids to become entrepreneurs using their local resources. So again, thank you very much, Norman, for all the miracles in the conversation today. This is your home, and really, this is your home, so you can come back whenever you would like to. And again, this is Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV. Thank you very much for being with us today. We appreciate that you were with us today. We hope to see you soon in another of our interviews or lectures here online. Have a wonderful day, and as it's the season, Merry Christmas, and see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.